poor village life, but nonetheless able to fall asleep in the middle of the road in the afternoon with the kids roaming around and screaming and dogs barking and goats and cows and whatnot. And a few blocks later, we turned into a newly developed, at that time, it was newly industrial area of Haridwar called Sidkul, which is where all of the big factories have come up recently. And it was, you could have been in any city, any major city of any country in the world with perfect asphalt streets and everybody in proper business gear and briefcases and hustling, bustling, and running around. And of course, everybody looked stressed and miserable. And because one street was basically right after the other street, it was this extraordinary demonstration, and it hit me so powerfully, of where we are going in the name of development. And how much of that is needed. And it's a vision that says that our forest should be cut down to build roads. We spoke yesterday about grazing the cattle. That they should be cut down for condominiums, that our air should be polluted by factories because we need more, cheaper, which means that the factories have to cut corners in their waste treatment. Our water is toxic, but of course, well, organic food costs too much, and so natural herbs cost too much. Pharmaceuticals that are covered by your insurance, of an external system inside. If we keep moving, have to spend all the money that you make on buying herbs to detox, or we end up having to change our society. And I wanted just to bring this up because spiritually we're always talking about saying yes. And what are we going to say yes to? And what are we going to step up to? And what are we going to open to? And yes, that is what our motto should be. It's yes, and it's yes, and it's yes. And sometimes it has to be no. And that's also spiritual. And to be able to say no to the chemicals in our food, to be able to say no to factories that are polluting our air and our soil and our water, and even if it means that we don't buy something we want to buy because the factory that produces it is not able to do so in a clean way, that we are able to say no to the voices in our heads that say, have to have it, have to have it, have to have it. So that we are able to create a world where the outside is a reflection of the inside, where the outside supports the inside, where it's not that I have to move through the world focused fully on, have I had enough tea with friends today? Have I had enough community? Because otherwise I'm going to get sick. My air is so toxic. My water is so toxic that have I taken my herbs today? Have I detoxed to health and fullness and forgiveness and surrender? We have the power to say no in our world, and we must. We absolutely must. And we must say no with our dollars and our euros and our rupees about what we buy, how we spend it. What are we endorsing? What are we supporting? What are we saying yes to? And if there's nothing to say yes to, we say no. Until something is created or we are and full excitement, say yes to. Because these systems have to break down, as we were speaking about yesterday. We must say no to a lot of the current situation. Let it break down. Break it down. So that we can have that breakthrough in a world that is supporting our health outside just as we are.
How beautiful is that? And the truth is that systems are breaking down. And I like to go back to one for me, very essential words from Michael. He was describing about how change all of a sudden is emerging. It is so essential for all of us to have a certain humbleness, to recognize that we might not have the answers, that we might not have the solutions, because often when we have a solution to a problem, we are reinforcing the existence of the problem itself. And the problem is only a reflection of confusion, so we take the confusion with us, trying to create something better. So maybe it's a moment for us to recognize that a systematic change can only emerge. We cannot do it because all our doing is too heavily informed by the past, by confusion. So the courage to feel comfortable in not knowing, to create a community which support each other, to rest in not knowing, and to trust that as we come together in spirit of service of something that we don't know what it is, because it is emerging. And again, I just love to encourage all of us, let us not trivialize this moment. It's not another moment in another festival, in another yoga class, and we just have a great time meeting some great people and we go home. Let us recognize the urgency of this moment. Not urgency of fear, oh my God,